Do you know why this is so weird to talk about? It's probably because I don't ever talk about it. Because it wasn't a fun experience. Um, okay. Well, May, among many things, is Stroke Awareness Month. And when I was 36, I suffered a stroke right here in this office. I went at my lunch break and laid down for a little bit, and I got up and I sat at my work desk to start my work day. And my husband was talking to me before he went on his break. And he started to notice that my speech was slurred and that I wasn't talking right, or that I was more, rather, I was talking funny. And next thing I know, I'm in an ambulance on my way to the hospital. I remember sitting and talking to him. I remember him, being like, "Are you okay?" I have a memory of him. I thought he was like helping me lay down, but he said that I had actually fallen out of my chair and he was helping me, kind of get me comfortable. I don't remember how I got into the ambulance, but I remember being in the ambulance. I remember telling the driver that I have terrible veins, which I do. I'm a very hard stick. You can't start IVs in my arms, you have to do them in my hands. I remember throwing up in the ambulance on the poor ambulance guy. Um, I remember being in the ER and the doctor asking me several times if I had done any drugs because one of the reasons why strokes have increased in young adults is because of drug use. And I'm sure that if someone was on drugs, they probably wouldn't confess to the doctor, which is why he kept asking me. But I was very annoyed. I was like, no, I'm not on drugs. I remember getting put into an MRI machine to scan my brain, and the sweet nurse being so excited that because I told them I was feeling sick again and that I thought I was gonna throw up again. Um, and uh, and I remember the nurse being like, "I know you're throwing up right now, but I'm so happy because you're moving your left side." They had given me the drug TPA, which is a clot busting drug that you only have 3 hours to get to the hospital and get that drug before could have some long lasting side effects or even death related to your stroke. I was one of the very lucky ones. And one of the reasons why I was one of the very lucky ones was because my husband's coworker's mom well, I don't know if it was her mom or her dad, had suffered a stroke. And she told him what happened, and he looked up the symptoms, to look for in case, it ever happened to his loved one. So I was double blessed. God looked out for me that way. And then God looked out for me in the fact that my husband's job was, his office was under construction. So even though it was during COVID and we were under lockdown, even if we hadn't been under lockdown in COVID, he still would have been home to take care of me. So I wholeheartedly believe that God made sure that I had everything that I needed to get healed. He called 911 and he got me to the hospital so quickly. That's the only reason why I don't have any disabilities from my stroke. I will link an NIH article down below for you if you want to read up on the statistics that's happening here and across the world. But it is something that is affecting young people. I had what's called a PFO, and I'm just going to put down here what it is because I can't ever say it right. I would butcher it if I tried to say it. So I had a PFO, which is essentially a hole in your heart, and that little stupid clot used that little hole as his doorway to get into my brain and clot, gum up the works, if you will. And that's what caused my stroke. And I did have That hole closed. I can't remember what there's so many acronyms for all the things that I had done during PFO, TPA. I did have the hole in my heart closed, and my cardiologist said that just by doing that decreased my risk of having another stroke by 90%. I never knew that I had that hole in my heart. I went my entire life with that hole, never knowing until I had a stroke. So it's one of those, things that people might have these, undiagnosed birth defects that they live with perfectly fine. I have no problems until I had a stroke. I don't want to scare you. I don't want anyone to watch this video and be afraid. I just want you to be informed so that if you ever have a loved one who experiences this, that you can save them too, like my husband saved me. So that acronym is Be Fast. And let me break down what each letter means. Be Fast, the acronym, is B is for balance. So if you notice your loved one's kind of uneasy. E is for eyesight. So it's loss of eyesight. And if I think back to my stroke, it really did feel like this side was just complete and utter darkness. Like I didn't notice it at the time, but my whole left vision was gone. F is for face drooping. My husband said that I had a little bit of that, but not much. Really, it was kind of like my slurred speech. A is for arm weakness. And I did have that when he was on the phone with the 911 operator. They asked me to move my right side. And then when they asked me to move my left side, he was, he was like, "Can you move your left side, Kel?" And I'm like, I'm moving my left side. And I was not moving my left side. S is for speech difficulty, which I said I did have. It's what triggered him to know that something was wrong, that I wasn't able to articulate myself well. Mind you, the entire time that I was having this stroke, I felt like I was talking perfectly fine. And T is time, which is, like I said, you only have 3 hours to get your loved ones to the hospital before that clot causes, serious damage. Like I was saying, having my stroke, I wouldn't wish a stroke on anyone, certainly, but it has given me a new lease on life. We make sure that we were always the don't go to bed kind of angry kind of people, but now it's kind of mandatory. We love on our kids. I think my kids get sick of hearing "I love you" like 3,000 times a day. We make sure that we are, never go to bed angry. We resolve our problems. No problem is or argument is worth being angry. I'd rather be happy than be right. I definitely prioritize my health now because I think it's a gift to get up every day and be able to walk and exercise and, do things with my family because time is precious and they're precious, and I'll never get these moments back with them again. So I no longer, there was one point in my life where I did want to, climb the corporate ladder and, have all that kind of success, and that doesn't matter to me anymore. It definitely changes you, for the better. I just wanted you to know a little bit more, about me. Don't worry, next week we'll continue our terrible sewing that we do on this channel. But I mean, we are getting better, guys. We are getting better. I made a skirt and pants. I mean, come on, And that's the other thing that the, stroke did. I decided that I spent way too much time scrolling on the internet and that I really needed to cancel. I was addicted to Facebook. That was like my true, like I was on Facebook all the time. And that is the one social media that I have not signed up for again for this channel because it was so bad for my health. If I can leave you with anything today, it's put down the phone. I know you're watching this video, but go take a walk, go outside, enjoy the sunshine, call that loved one that you haven't talked to in a long time just to say hello. Call your grandma, call your mom, call your siblings. Tell them you love them every day, because time is short, and I could have had a completely different life, or I could have died at 36. And so I'm very blessed to get to be here with you making these silly videos on the internet. And if this video can help, one person, save their loved one, I would be so grateful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.